Hey everyone, this is a brand new vehicle for the Honda lineup. We're looking at the 2019 Honda Passport Elite all-wheel drive. And I can't wait to take you on a ride along. So I'm gonna go over the features with you and we'll take it for a spin. Come on, let's check it out. So the Honda Passport, we're looking at the front of the vehicle here. The grille, you're gonna notice, has the black accents here on the front grille, the big Honda symbol there. Very distinct, this Passport look from the other Hondas that we have in the lineup. You're gonna see it has the fog lamps, the daytime running lights are LEDs. You have the LED headlamps as well. You notice the front bumper sensors as well. That's for parking the vehicle. You also have them in the rear bumper as well. You'll see the nice painted black 20-inch wheels with the all-season tires, of course. Now the Passport is going to be very similar to the other vehicles in the lineup as far as your Smart Pass keyless entry system, standard remote start from the factory, moonroof, of course. You're going to see the Elite and all-wheel drive badging on the back with the Passport. Again, as long as you have your key fob on you, this is the best, guys. You got that kick sensor for the back tailgate. So for mom and dad loading up the groceries, you got your kids running around, you don't have a hand free, this is going to be a great way to be able to get into the back of the vehicle. A lot of cargo space. Difference between this and the Pilot, is you do not have a third row. So this extra room is specifically meant for storage. You have a nice flat surface here. If you do want those seats down in the back, you can simply hit that button and it's going to fly down. Flat 60/40 split folding seats on the back, and also some cargo space under here. And you can lift this up and you have your spare tire jack and tools in order to change a tire. And remember guys, you got your funnel here because they took away the gas caps on the for filling up the gas. You'll see in the back you have the bumper sensors here. And then you also have the chrome exhaust tips, the dual exhaust tips for the Passport as well. The roof rails do come standard with the Passport Elite as well. And guys, if you're looking for a vehicle that you want to have the performance on the road, the speed, and you want to have the ability to maybe even take it off-road, you want that nice, adventurous kind of SUV, well, Honda's got it. The Passport's the way to fly. A lot of our customers, we love the CR-V and we love the Pilot, okay, but we want something right in between. This is going to give us everything we need. We're looking at a Passport here to the left compared to the Pilot on the right, so that you can get a size comparison, and also you can see the distinct look between the Pilot and the Passport. Now the Pilot is 196.5 inches long, where the Passport is exactly 6 inches less than that, 190.5. Major differences between the Passport and the Pilot: the Passport does not offer third row at all in any of the trim levels, where the Pilot has third row in every single trim level. So if you're looking for a nice size vehicle with a lot of cargo space and that V6 engine, that 3.5, the Passport's the way to go. You don't need the third row. This is the vehicle for you. When you have the Smart Pass keyless entry with Honda, any vehicle really, you're gonna see the circular, the button with the little circle insignia. That's your remote start. So what you wanna do is hit the lock button 2 times in a row and then hold this button with the circle insignia for about 5 seconds or so until you see the lights blink on the car, and then you can release it. It'll run for about 10 minutes and then shut off. So let me go ahead and demonstrate that for you, and we'll go ahead and look at it from the front here. By the way, the lights blink in the front and the back, so if you have it parked at the restaurant, you'll be able to see that a remote started from outside. So lock 2 times, hold the circular button down. There we go, we see the lights blink there. She'll start up, blink 6 more times. That way we ensure that it remote started. It'll run for 10 minutes. If you want to default to 20, you can immediately do the same pattern after you remote start it, and it will set it to 20 minutes. It'll run for that long and then shut off. If you're really low on gas, it will not run you out of gas. It knows not to deplete it. It will shut it off before that happens. Oh, by the way, the climate. So I have a lot of customers ask me, well, when you remote start the Honda, are you going to have to preset things so that it runs the temperature how you want when you remote start it the next day? You don't have to do any of that. If it's extremely hot outside, it's always going to bring it down to a comfortable 72 degrees. And if it's extremely cold, it's always going to bring it up to a comfortable 72 degrees. So that's a great thing about the Passport and pretty much every Honda in the lineup with the remote start. You have that preconditioning, self-conditioning climate control. for the remote start. Whenever you are not remote starting the car, simply you could have this key fob buried in the bottom of your pocket, ladies, buried in the bottom of your purse, and all you have to do is have it on you. You walk up to the vehicle and you can simply put your hand through the handle, will unlock the door, and when you get in, do your commute to and from work, wherever you're going. When you get out, you simply just hit that black button and walk away. All right, and I know everybody's been waiting for this. Let's take it on the road and check it out. Yeah, and this touchscreen is going to be very familiar to anybody else that has or has driven the Pilot or the Odyssey. Okay, so this is going to have the same kind of functions on there, the same tabs. For instance, like the social playlist and the AT&T hotspot and My Honda Music, which allows you to share the music within the occupants in the cabin. So a lot of nice, cool features that are similar from the other vehicles in the Honda lineup. We do have the volume control, and it's a knob there on the touch screen, so we like that. We used to have the touch buttons for increasing or decreasing the volume. Now we have the knob. We do have the ability to increase or decrease the volume here on our steering wheel. With a lot of other features here, you can access a lot of things on the display here beyond the steering wheel. For instance, you can show your trip computer, all-wheel drive torque, which I'm actually going to have when we're driving so we can see which wheels are getting the power. It's actually really neat to watch that when you're driving. Phone, of course, navigation. This does have a standard navigation system. Any music is playing. And then, of course, your maintenance, you're going to be able to see whenever you have to get your oil changed. And then also settings where you can set up what you want to have accessed on here, what you can see and what you can't see. You can set it up however you want. Honda Sensing. So you're going to have the whole suite of Honda Sensing. And if we remember, that's blind spot monitoring on both sides. So you're going to have this little black box on the left and the right hand side. If anybody is in your blind spot, those will blink orange with a little car icon there. And also if you have your turn signal on and you're still trying to make a move, that will blink, but it'll also beep inside of the cabin. You're also going to have your forward collision brake mitigation system, your road departure mitigation, which is going to keep you centered in the lane. And then of course, when you're out at higher speed, you have your adaptive cruise control and your lane keep assist system. Keep in mind the adaptive cruise control does not have slow follow mode in the Passport. In fact, the best way to think of this, adaptive cruise control with Hondas, if it has a V6 engine, it does not have slow follow. So we got a lot of buttons here on the steering wheel. What's really neat with the Passport, and you have this with the Pilot as well, you do the heated steering wheel with the Elite. I love that. If anybody's driven in the wintertime, a cold steering wheel is kind of annoying. I always like to have that, heats it up in the morning. You do have paddle shifters here for your transmission. You can shift up and down in gear. If you want to save on the brakes going down a hill, you can do that as well. You do have the drive and sport mode with the Passport, similar to the Pilot. So if you have it in drive and you're using the shifters, you can simply stop using them and it will put you back into drive. If you have it in the sport mode, you want to be more mindful of shifting up and down in gear. It's just more of a car enthusiast selection in the transmission. You have automatic lights with the fog lamps as well. Auto high beams at night, they're automatically going to turn on and off for you. You also have the rain sensing wipers as well. If you have it set to the auto setting, whenever it starts to rain, it'll go ahead and turn the wipers on. I have a lot of customers ask, when the wipers are going, do the headlamps come on? And the answer is yes. So if you do not have your lights on, for whatever reason, during the day and it starts to rain, it'll turn your headlamps on automatically. Dual zone climate control, automatic climate control. You can set it to whatever temperature you want inside of the cabin. You do have heated and ventilated seats for the driver and the passenger with the leather trim seats, leather wrapped steering wheel. So for those of you that want a little air conditioned seat in the summertime, you're going to be able to have that. That's a really nice feature. Love that on the Elite. Another thing that's kind of distinct with some of the higher models in the Elite, the higher models in the Passport and even the Pilot, is the automatic mirrors. So I can hit this button and actually bring in the mirrors anytime that I want. And that's over here on the left-hand side. And of course, a directional pad to change them. You do the memory seats 1 and 2 for the driver's side. Of course, the Bluetooth connection. One thing I wanted to show you with the Bluetooth connection, so I have an iPhone 8. So anybody with an iPhone 8 and up, you're going to be able to wirelessly charge your phone right here on this charger deck. You just simply set it down and now my phone's charging. That's pretty slick. If you have the Android, you're going to be able to do that as well. You do have the idling shut-off button. So some people like this, some people don't. You know, if you don't like this feature, it's simply something that you can turn off. You just hold the button down for a second or two and then it turns that off. The intelligent traction management system for your all-wheel drive system is the button right above that. And all we do is simply hit the button one time to access the options that we have. And then I can press again and switch between normal, snow, mud, and sand. So this is similar to the Pilot. If you remember that video, it's going to be able to switch it automatically while you're on the fly. Mud and sand, you don't want to be traveling too fast. Those are lower gearings. It's more torque and more traction. By the way, it does disengage stability control in sand and mud. So for those of you who have ever tried to pull a boat out of the water, or if you're really stuck in the inclement situation, snow or mud, and your wheels start spinning, the system may break your wheels thinking that you're going out of control at a higher speed. That's what stability control does. So it disengages that, allowing your wheels to spin freely. So the engine, we have the 3.5 liter V6, and it is a 280 horsepower engine. So this is the same engine that's in the Pilot, the same engine that's in the Odyssey, okay? And guess what? This is lighter. So this is gonna be a really, really fun ride. And I'll just show you going out here. It's got a lot of power. It's got a nice sound to it too. As you can see, the smile on my face. So just a terrific vehicle. Talk about getting up and getting into speed whenever you're getting out on the highway. So right now going up the road, I have the all-wheel drive system, and again, it's showing the torque management. So what wheels are getting the power? So right now, I'm actually have all the power diverted to the front wheels solely, 0%. Now a little bit went to the right wheel. The right rear wheel. So it's going to divert the power wherever it's needed. This is a really cool system to watch while you're driving. So now this is different from the other all-wheel drive systems with other brands such as Subaru. And just to use them as an example, all their drive wheels are the same. So they're always diverting the same amount of power to each wheel. Where Honda, you don't need the power to all the wheels all the time. It's situational, you know, so depending on how you drive, depending on if you're on the back roads or on the highway, it's going to adjust it and drive it the best way possible, the most fuel efficient way possible too. And that's another thing to keep in mind. This system is more fuel efficient. You won't use up as much gas. You know, you have the automatic dimming mirror. You have the HomeLink system for the garage door openers at home. You have the Honda Link. Okay, so you're going to be able to hook up with Honda Corporation, run diagnostics on the car, schedule any service appointments that you have. If there's any recalls or any information that the customer needs to know, it comes across on that application. And again, that's the Honda Link application. And Honda has their own text messaging capability. But keep in mind, for the Apple and Android users, that you have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. I don't have my cord with me today, or I demonstrate that for you, but you do have the USB port here, and that's the phone icon. That's the one you want to plug into with your Apple or your Android. And then of course the Android Auto, Apple CarPlay. And if you see me demonstrate that in some of the other videos, basically when you have that hooked up, it's just an extension of your phone shown right on the touchscreen here. So you have the standard navigation system. Let's say you keep the vehicle for 10 years, okay, which is going to last for longer than that. You're going to be able to use Android Auto or your Apple CarPlay and use the maps as your navigation system, and it will show up there on the touchscreen. You do have the sunroof. It's one touch all the way back. Simply one touch all the way back, one touch all the way forward as well. Sunglass holder, eye in the sky, so you can keep tabs on the kids or any adults that aren't behaving in the back seat. You do have the armrest for the driver and the passenger. It's kind of neat. You can put it up. There's different levels where you can stop it. So if you want to have it like that. Of course, you can put it all the way down or just stow it up there. You do have a lot of cargo space here in the middle. Similar to the Pilot and the CR-V, you're going to have a lot of cargo space down here. Power outlet, you do have an auxiliary hookup with a USB port. So you have that single prong hookup. And then in the back, you have the 150 watt plug-in. So that's with that, that regular, you know, 2-prong plug-in. So if you have, you know, maybe a laptop or anything like that, any device that requires one of those, you have the ability to hook that up there. So right now, our lane keep assist system is activated. The button is pressed and the dotted lines are up there, and now they're solid white. You want to be centered in the lane when you see those dotted lines, again, above 45 miles an hour. If I start to drift, it'll slightly vibrate the wheel and just pull me back in the lane, which it's doing right there. Now, adaptive cruise control, I have that set right now, and we have the vehicle in front of us. And right now I have the cruise set at 46 miles an hour, so we will not go any higher than that. And I can simply increase my speed 1 mile an hour increment, or if I hold the plus button down for a few seconds, it'll bump me up 5 mile an hour increments. And then the button on the outside, I can change the sensitivity level, bringing and bridging the gap between me and the car in front of me. I'm going to demonstrate the blind spot monitoring. So I have this vehicle here on the right hand side. If I got ahead of it here, the orange light on the right hand side is going to blink. There it is in the blind spot. And if I put my turn signal on, it also beeps. So when the blind spot monitoring is on and you see the light, that's an indication somebody is in your blind spot and you do not want to move into the lane. And then again, if you have your turn signal on and you hear that beep, that's just the passport giving you that second warning, or Honda sensing I should say, that's saying please don't move into that lane. You have somebody in your blind spot. So you have two different warning systems. And then warranty for the Honda Passport. You're going to have the 3-year, 36,000 mile comprehensive warranty, which takes care of all the internal features, all the electronics, all the bells and whistles, if you will. And then the powertrain is your 5-year 60. That's your engine, drivetrain, transmission, and your all-wheel drive system. So all the major driving components. And then the backup camera. Put the vehicle in reverse, and you're going to have the camera angle view here. Now you're going to see that it's similar to the Pilot, Odyssey, some of the other Hondas. There are a couple different things that are new. You do have the wide angle view, so you can see traffic coming from either side. The dynamic guidelines do change color to give you a projected angle into a parking spot. You have more of a straight on view when you go to make the parking. You kind of line up the lines on the ground with the grid. And then you have a straight down view. This is really great for anybody that has a hitch on the Passport and you just want to line it up perfectly. If you've ever had a hitch and you try to line it up and you got to get out and go back and check and see if it's in line, this will just make it so much more easy. I'm glad that happened. That's actually your cross monitor detection. So that was my next thing I was going to talk about. That's this button right here. I can simply turn it off or on. That's actually using my blind spot monitoring to be able to detect any traffic behind me. So if I have a vehicle that's moving, it's going to indicate and beep on the dash, or excuse me, on the camera. It's going to tell me what side it's coming from, and then you're going to hear the beeping inside of the cabin. This next button is the aerial view, so you can actually get an idea of how close you are to something in front of you or behind you. So I'm going to show you in the backup. We're backing up here. Line this up. I always like to do this straight down, and there we start to see the beeping. I want to show you this. That dotted line, you're still about 2.5 feet, 3 feet away from whatever you're backing up against. This big box, that's about 10 feet. So now when you get closer to the object, the beeping interval gets closer, and then you're going to go from yellow, orange, and then finally to red whenever you get really close to an object. And that's the ride along on the new 2019 Honda Passport Elite all-wheel drive. I hope you enjoyed the video as much as I enjoyed going over the features with you. If you'd like to come in for a test drive, please come visit us on Route 30 here in Greensburg and ask for me, Justin Thompson, or you can visit us online at smailhonda.com. Thanks for watching.